There he is. Good morning, man. So cool. Thanks for taking a little bit of time to chat. I started doing these interviews with different artists that at least that I'm familiar with that I know, and
Nice.
I've been following your carving for a few years now, I think.
Yeah.
How long have you been carving tikis?
Carving tikis since 2011.
And how did you get
Yeah.
into it?
Friend was doing a luau and grandma had some palm trees, like chunks laying in front of your yard. And so I thought, why not make them a tiki? It's a luau, seem proper. Just make a tiki and see what happens. So I made a tiki for them, and everybody was like, "Whoa, this is cool," And so it just went from there. That's how it kind of started. I kind of wanted to dig deeper, and so started doing different designs. At that time when I was starting, I was just pretty much taking like selfies, doing weird faces and just kind of sketching the outlines and just doing tikis out of my face. And that's pretty much how it started. And then um, after that, I just started checking out other people's work and some of the stuff that's been here and tikis at tiki bars, and kind of got inspired with everybody's everybody's artworks.
Did you have any experience? Like, do you have an art background? Did you do sculpting, or did you just jump
Oh
right
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. I've been doing arts. Man, I don't even. Since I was young, been doing art since I was young. I can't remember what age, but I was pretty young. I've always, if it was like a piece of soap or Play-Doh, just sculpting, painting, pretty much tried whatever I could. So yeah, I was into the arts for
Very
sure.
cool. And then
Yeah.
had you been into tiki before at all, or was this really just because your friend was having a party?
No, you know what? I've seen tiki. I've seen uh carvings growing up. I just, it was more of like when that opportunity happened with the luau. I was like, oh, it's a good place to start. Try something with wood, because I hadn't tried that type of medium before. So it was like it was how can I say? It's like a good place to start for me, I guess. But yeah, I've seen it before, and I've always thought to myself, like, man, that would be cool to try and carve something. And so when Grandma had those pieces in the front yard, I just thought it was a good opportunity. But it wasn't like a full blown like tiki head, It was more of like, I want to try this medium and see where it goes, and I've been enjoying it ever since.
Yeah, very cool. Do you have any at that time, like once you started it, did you start kind of researching other people who carve tikis once you started kind of getting into it and looking at other work out there?
Yeah, I did. I went on YouTube. I typed in tiki carvings, and so I saw Crazy Al, and that was pretty much it. The only guy that I saw there posting videos and stuff. So I watched him for a little bit, and then I watched other like chainsaw carvers to kind of see what kind of tools they use. And at the time, I had like a regular job, so I couldn't buy all the tools. So I was pretty much working with like these Walmart chisels and cheap mallets, and that's pretty much what I started with. And so, watching them use the grinders and the die grinder and this and that, different chainsaws was good. It allowed me to, you know, uh want to get those tools and try them out, because at the time as well, I was starting finished carpentry kind of work, and so I was using tools, but I wasn't that good at it. So it was like all those other tools, like the chainsaws and the grinders, they were a bit scary at the time. So I kind of went in it a little slow.
It's
The
intimidating,
chisel,
man. I think about, oh, it'd
yeah,
be really cool to try to carve a tiki, but then you start thinking, okay, now I need a chainsaw, I need all these things, and
exactly.
I can imagine it's quite an undertaking to if you're going to do
Yeah,
something on a big scale, right? If you're carving a
yeah,
4 foot tiki, so it's
yeah. It was intimidating, but it takes time, I guess. You got to
so
jump in.
when you're getting ready to carve something new, what's your process? Or do you decide like, kind of what inspires you or sort of say, okay, I'm going to do a Marquesan or I'm going to do something Hawaiian or, um, how do you decide what to do? What kind of research do you do ahead of time?
Uh, I like to look at the traditional styles more now. Before I was doing more of like, tikis with the big eyes or big tongues, and I used to paint them as well. So I kind of stopped doing that and started focusing more on the stuff that's already here and that's maybe ancient or that's a lot older, and just to kind of understand the figures and the style, I guess. But yeah, I look at the older stuff, and then I'll say, well, this seems intimidating, so I'll try it. And it's never perfect, but it's practice, and that's the way I look at it. And the ultimate goal is to find my own style within that traditional style.
Right.
You know?
I mean, I think that's
So
what sort of attracted me to your work when I first saw it was I felt like it was something that I might have seen if I were out hiking in the Marquesas and stumbled upon an tiki, It
thanks,
felt
yeah, thank
it
you,
felt very authentic, I guess. And
thanks.
yeah, it didn't feel um I guess that's the best description. It felt authentic. It felt like you were really being inspired by the history of the art.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, like you see, you asked me like, what inspires me, and it's that culture. I'll look at like references, and then I'll kind of just stick within that area, and then I'll just look at as much carvings and as much as I can. I'll look at it, and I kind of get me an idea of what I can do with it, so I'm not like butchering it, and that's pretty much the process.
So walk me through like the actual process of, okay, now you've decided you're going to carve a 5 foot Marquesan tiki, right? And so
Right.
you've got a log sitting there. Like,
Mhm.
what are the roughly the steps? I mean, in bite-sized
Yeah,
pieces.
so a lot of the times it takes looking at the log. Sometimes I may have an idea, but the log has a certain shape that is going to fit a certain profile. So I'll just throw away that old idea and I'll just start with a new one right on the log, even if I have to sketch it on the log. And that's what happens sometimes. And sometimes I'll have material and I'll just look at it, and then something will come up, and then that's when I'm already like ready to carve with what I already have. It's like a 50-50 when it comes to figuring out the carving that I'm gonna do.
So
But yeah, so sorry, go
no,
ahead.
go ahead. You keep going.
So yeah, that's the process as far as like design. Is that either I already have it and I'm gonna go for it, or it's got a funny little lump and a tapered head, and I'll just go with that, and I'll sketch it on there and get ready to cut.
Do you have a preference for the type of wood you like to work with? Or do you'll work with whatever you have? Is there issues with different types of wood, things that are easier to carve or maybe last longer or more durable? But
I use a lot of palm. I've used a lot of palm in the past because I can get it. I usually just I'll buy it from a yard in Ontario, and it's what they have. It's usually fresh. I get the freshest ones. And I get them in 14-foot lengths. So for me, it's like if I can get something that large and just have them put it in the trailer, I'm happy. It's not easy with the hardwoods because they're just like they don't have the shape that I want for the most part. So I'll go with the palm trees because they're usually pretty straight, and sometimes I'll get some with the tapered end, and it's a good material to work with. I usually try and pick like the more mature ones. So I already have an idea of what I've worked with. So when I go and pick my material, I try and get the best of the best. So that when I carve into something, if it needs like a deep cut on the neck or anything like that, I know it's not gonna like shrink up and crack, which happens. This happened to me a bunch of times when I started. So it was a good good thing to learn.
So, like having never carved one before, I'm imagining the process is that you're roughing in basic shapes and then just continuing to refine till you get what you want. Is that pretty accurate?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You block it out, and then once you get your desired shape, then you come in and you start doing the like the secondary details, and then there's like it can go on forever. It's just depends on what you want to achieve. So yeah, my process is I'll block it out. That's my first step. And then once I get it blocked out, I'll refine that shape whichever way. And then once I get my the shapes right, everything's smooth, then like for example the Marquesan, it's a good one. I enjoy that process because I get it to look all smooth once it's all smooth and everything's there, all the legs and everything, the butt, the shoulders and everything. Once everything's smooth, I can come in and start sketching the tattoos and the eyes and the nose and the mouth. So it's um it's a pretty fun process
Very
once you
cool.
get to that point.
And are you, I noticed that you're starting to do some really large scale
Mhm.
tikis out of foam. And
Yeah,
is it kind of the same process, just with foam, or imagine maybe you don't need, I don't know, is it pretty much the same thing?
it's the same process. Um, it's the same process, but maybe a little bit more work. Um,
Oh, that's interesting.
because
You would think it would be less work. I don't know why, but
yeah,
just intuitively, right? You think, oh, foam, it's easier. It's like,
yeah. It seems like I feel like it's a little bit more work because with wood you're working with like a block. So you're removing it's not like like I usually use a cylindrical shape, and that's like pretty much like the extremities of it. So it's easier for me to like just kind of remove material, but with like large block foam, it's I'm having to remove more material to get to where I want to be. Um So, and then the sanding, there's a little bit more sanding. I do a lot of sanding with, by hand and stuff like that to get into these like crevices and areas where I can't use my sander. Um, and then to the you have to apply stucco and mesh, so it's a lot more work.
yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Takes layers of stucco as well. So you gotta go around it a few times, flip it, and but it's fun. I like it. It's a lot lighter to work with, for it being something of that magnitude. It's like, man, this is cool. I could move it around, put it anywhere. 12-foot piece, doesn't matter. It could be an 8-footer. I could take it anywhere if I want to show it off. So it's fun.
Do you find that you're doing most of your carving now, like you're just picking something that you want to do and then you're saying, hey, this is available for sale? Or are you getting more custom orders where people are saying, hey, I want this specific thing?
Yeah, I feel like I think 80% of the time it's something that I've been thinking about and I just want to make it. And then yeah, I put it out there. If anybody wants it, it's available. And here and there I'll get like a commission, which is nice to have in between.
Yeah, didn't I
But
think Did you do some of the tikis at the Royal Hawaiian?
Yeah, I did most of the large ones.
Yeah, those
I
are
did.
impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
just
I did.
we were just there and I thought I recognized them.
Nice. You celebrated your birthday there, right?
Yes,
Or
I
something
did.
like that.
Yeah,
That's nice. Yeah, I did. Notch got me to make all those tikis in there, and
very cool.
then I had them ready to go, and I told him, "Hey, they're ready. When do you want me to drop them off?" He's like, "We're not ready yet. We're having a little bit of issues with like the construction." So I was like, "Okay, cool. Well, let me know if you need help. I've done finished carpentry work. I can do all that kind of work, installs, and working inside of buildings." And he said, "All right, well, I'll let you know." And yeah, he let me know like a couple days within me telling him about that. So that was cool. I got to work on there, and also have my work and
So you're
being
not
able to.
tikis, you actually went in and helped with some of the carpentry and finishing work as well.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Great. I
yeah.
mean, I really love that place. It's really I think on the West Coast one of the my favorite spots.
Nice. Yeah, it's a
With
beautiful place.
I mean, there's with so much more interest it seems like in tiki in the last few years. Are you is it keeping you pretty busy? Are you finding that you're selling a lot more, getting a lot more?
Oh yeah, yeah. I feel like it's been busier. I feel like it's been busier, and then too, I want to get into the bar builds as well, and maybe with the foam carvings, that's like another thing that I'm adding. So I could see it, keeping me busier than before. So
Is this a full-time gig for you now? Are you doing this full time or you still have another
yeah,
side?
I'm doing this full time. Yeah,
Cool. That's great.
yeah, full time. I quit I quit the job in around 2018. So I just said I'm just gonna go full time artist.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's got its ups and downs, but it's worth it. You know, I enjoy it.
So you were saying that you're interested in kind of getting into to bar builds and some other areas. Have you uh, I guess that's kind of expanding beyond just beyond carving the tikis. That's sort of where you're interested in going, or kind of doing the whole thing from design to installation and construction.
Correct. The whole thing. That's the goal.
Well, there's a lot of bars, it seems like being being built. So
Yeah.
have you
Yeah,
had
and then
any
this is
bites? Any nibbles on that?
well, getting to work with Notch at the Royal Hawaiian got some good attention, and there's a new place opening up in Camarillo. I don't know if you're aware of that one.
No.
It's the House of Bamboo.
Oh yes, I do know. Yeah, I have heard
Yeah.
about that one.
So yeah, they're doing a lot of work in there, and they're getting ready. So um I'm not sure if I'm gonna be joining them, because if I'm like super busy, I won't be able to be doing the installs. And but I do want to do more bar installs and decor, and maybe designing them as well. That would be pretty cool.
Cool. So do you have any tikis on hand that are ready to go, or are you still are you in the process of restocking?
Yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. Just restocking, and also I have a project for a guy in Fairfax. He ordered a bunch of tentacles that are like, I'm making them out of foam, but there's gonna be 5 tentacles coming out the ceiling, and so I'm working on that right now. So
Okay,
it's
I
pretty
saw you
cool.
posted one of those. I was like kind of curious what it was you were working on.
Yeah, yeah. It's for a private residence, so
Very cool.
pretty
I think
cool.
I saw that you had posted more of a Native American style uh, carving that you had done too. Is that right? Did you do non-Polynesia? Are you kind of branching it a little into other areas?
Oh, like Aztec
Maybe
and
it was Aztec. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I tried different stuff. Like for example, I saw somebody do like wood burning, and I got interested. So I did this one. I started this one, but it's still not finished yet. This one's Xochipilli. He's like the god of art and mushroom and music and all kinds of stuff. But I started burning it, but it was a lot of work, so I just went with the black paint.
Okay,
Then I so that's Aztec, and then I did this guy.
nice,
It's another wood burning project.
cool.
Yeah, I just did that for fun. My uncle wanted a Geronimo carving. That's Geronimo, the Apache warrior.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, well, I'll just do a wood burning, see how it comes out, and see if he wants it. But he wants a carving. So. But yeah, I like to try different styles, I guess.
Yeah, I think I saw
Um,
that you had also done some of the uh like the PNG style
oh yeah,
masks. Kind of
yeah,
think of them as sort of the oceanic arts mask because they made a bunch of those, but you had so you're doing a little bit of that work as well.
yeah. I like to try different stuff. I just when I see something, I'm like, man, I gotta try that. If it looks, if it's like something that like catches my eye, I'm like, man, I gotta try it. So yeah, there's really nothing in particular that I'm like really focused on. It's more of like just trying to I guess expand my knowledge in art and stuff, and just kind of not sticking to one thing because I feel like I really can't. I even though if I wanted to, it's like for me it gets like a little monotonous, I guess. So
I can
it's
imagine.
nice to try other stuff outside of it.
Yeah, you wanna not just carve the same thing over and over again, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah.
Do you have any favorite pieces that you've done?
Favorite pieces? That's a good question. This 12-foot moai is probably one of my favorite moais. Um, the Lono. Did you see the Lono, the 8-footer?
Hmm.
That one's pretty cool. That one's in Michigan now.
That one's beautiful.
Um, Thank you.
Where
Yeah,
did
and
that go
then
to a private bar or did that?
mhm,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I went to a private residence in Michigan. So yeah, and then well, the Marquesans are man, those are pretty cool. But I wouldn't say I have a favorite because they all have like their own characteristic, and
Like asking who your favorite child is.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And then the coup, I have a coup right now. I have a 8-foot coup. I still have to finish it up. I have to level the bottom so that when I stand it up, it's straight and it won't tip over. But yeah, I don't know. It's like I have like a bunch of favorites because they all have their own unique design and style. So like every time I try, like for example, the Moai, like I feel like every time I do one, it's like I learn something new. And so I'm applying that to the new one, but then I learn something new every time I try it as well. So it's like it just keeps growing, I guess.
So with your wood tikis, the palm ones or whatever material, like if somebody has one of those, what's the best way to uh, take care of it? I mean, do you recommend it's indoors? If it's outdoors, should it be, how do you keep it
Um, I recommend they could keep it outdoors. I think for the first few years, it's best to keep it outdoors because most of them they do have moisture and it takes years for them to lose moisture. And so outdoors is a good place for them to be. It allows them to air out and stuff and also keep them away from the sun if you can. Unless if I mean if you don't have a choice then it's fine. You just have to oil them once a year or twice a year depending on your location.
what kind
But
of oil? What kind of oil do you use on?
I don't really use oil, but I've heard that it's good like linseed oil.
Okay.
Yeah, linseed oil. Wayne Rogers puts oil on all his tikis and stuff. So he's always sending me pictures like, oh, check it out. This looks pretty cool. I'm like, yeah, because I usually just like I'll stain them and then I'll coat them with polyurethane But I've noticed that with like time, the polyurethane kind of falls off and it looks kind of crappy. So I'm gonna start doing things a little differently as far as that goes.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. So, anything else you wanna share? Anything? Because there's gonna be millions of people are gonna be watching this.
Um, see, I don't know, just I guess be on the lookout for some new stuff,
Yeah,
new
sounds
fun,
like
interesting
maybe the
sculptures.
House of Bamboo have some pieces up there potentially, and
Yeah.
then if people wanna check out your work, what's the best way to see what you have on hand and what you've done?
I think Instagram's pretty cool, but you could just scroll through the pictures. So if anybody wants to see my page, they can just type in Vic's art. If you want, I mean, it's technically underscore Vic's underscore art underscore.
I follow you, so I'll put a link to it
Awesome.
on this. And then what's the time? Like if I said today, hey, I wanna order a tiki, I want a 5 foot, tiki from you. What's what's your
For the
turn?
lead time,
Yeah.
it depends. Sometimes I'm like super busy, and if I have like a few projects lined up, I mean, it could be 2, 3 weeks.
Okay.
It could be a month. Depends.
And obviously you ship anywhere.
Yes, it could ship anywhere. I mean, it's just if people are willing to pay the shipping price, and they can ship anywhere.
Yeah, yeah. Very cool, man. Well, thanks for taking some time to chat. I
Of
appreciate it.
course. Yeah,
And
of course. Thank you. Good seeing you.
good seeing you too. And I'm gonna do a little newsletter article. I think I showed you the one that I did a couple of weeks ago. Um,
Yeah.
uh, Babalu clay jams and something like that, and then we'll put the video up on YouTube, and yeah, like people see your
Sweet.
work. And
Alrighty.
I'll talk to you a little bit later about potentially getting I'd love to get some photos. I mean, I can pull them from your Instagram, but if you've got specific photos that you want me to share, I can share images that you want to share.
Awesome. Alrighty. Well, good.
Awesome. All right.
Okay. Take care.
The rest of your day, man. Later. Bye.
You as well. Thank you.